In this video, I offer my suggestions and provide reasons for choosing bridge cameras for wildlife photography. This is my second video in this series on wildlife photography using bridge cameras. Please view my previous video on the importance of magnification. I am not suggesting that professional photographers use bridge cameras in their business. However, I do think bridge cameras are an excellent choice for amateur photographers who aren't looking to make profits from selling their photos. I do think that beginners and experienced photographers can justify using bridge cameras for taking photos that are suitable for sharing with friends and posting on social media. I think it may even be possible to successfully submit bridge camera photos in a contest. All of the photos presented in these videos, unless otherwise noted, were taken with bridge cameras, so you can judge for yourself. This photo of a belted kingfisher was taken with a Nikon P1000. Let's take a brief look at three types of cameras: bridge cameras, DSLR cameras, and mirrorless cameras. Bridge cameras are meant to bridge the gap between lower-end point-and-shoot cameras and the more expensive DSLR and mirrorless cameras. DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex. Mirrorless cameras are much like DSLR cameras, except they are constructed without a mirror. The absence of a mirror makes for lighter and less complicated camera. Premium DSLR cameras and mirrorless cameras are expensive. However, quality cameras of both types can still be purchased at more reasonable prices. Mirrorless cameras tend to be more expensive than DSLR cameras because they haven't been on the market as long, but the prices are coming down. If you already own one of these two types of cameras, or if the price isn't a major factor in your purchase, then I won't try to persuade you to buy a bridge camera. This photo of a green heron was taken near Wylie, Texas on Lake Lavon using a Panasonic Lumix FZ80. Bridge cameras come with advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are lightweight, making them very portable. During the past 3 years, I've walked many miles of trails looking for wildlife. Those miles of walking would have been more difficult if I had needed to carry a heavy camera and lens combination mounted on a tripod. I consider portability a very important consideration when buying a camera for wildlife photography. Another advantage of bridge cameras is that they are lower in price. usually costing in the hundreds of dollars instead of thousands of dollars. Bridge camera prices make a hobby that I enjoy affordable for me. All of the bridge cameras that are suitable for wildlife photography have a super zoom lens. Having one lens is also a big plus that lets the camera perform several functions. There is no need to carry a bag full of lenses for different situations. The downside of bridge cameras is that they don't do well in low lighting situations or using higher ISO settings. This is because of their small sensor size. Still, I've been very satisfied because they perform the functions that are important to me, and I've gotten some great photos. This photo of a Stellar Jay was taken on the Oregon coast using a Nikon P1000. Let's look into the properties that need to be considered when purchasing a camera. A major consideration would be purpose. Why are you buying a camera? Is it for a specific type of photography, or do you want it to be able to perform a variety of tasks, such as wide-angle photography, sports photography, portrait photography, or photography to record your travels and vacations? There are probably several other purposes that I haven't listed. Another consideration that I've already discussed is price. Functionality is an important consideration also. Ask yourself, will the camera that I have plans to buy or I own perform the task that I need or desire? Portability is another major consideration, and bridge cameras excel in this area. I did not take this photo. I found it on the internet. It shows a group of photographers at McGee Marsh on Lake Erie. I'm not faulting these photographers. Only they know their needs and desires. But the lack of portability with these cameras would not fit my needs. I am very familiar with 4 different bridge cameras, as I have either owned or used all 4. They are the Panasonic Lumix FZ80, Canon SX70, Nikon P1000, and the Nikon P950. I find all 4 to be excellent for wildlife photography. The Nikon P1000 has the longest reach at 120 times magnification, but it is also heavier at 3.12 pounds. Both the Panasonic Lumix FZ80 with 60 times magnification and the Canon SX70 with 65 times magnification weigh about 1 1/3 pounds each, while the Nikon P950 weighs about 2.2 pounds and has an 83 times magnification. All but the P1000 can comfortably be carried for hours on a neck strap. A shoulder strap is necessary for me to comfortably carry the Nikon P1000. If I had to choose a favorite, it would probably be the P950 because it's a third lighter than the Nikon P1000 and has the ability to shoot auto ISO in the manual mode. The P1000 is the only one among these four which can't shoot auto ISO in the manual mode. I plan to cover camera settings in a later video. I know of at least 2 other bridge cameras that have larger 1-inch sensors, but I've never used either of them. The reviews on both are excellent. They have only 25 times zoom, but the larger sensor may allow for cropping photos up to higher magnifications. I don't have the answers to that question, and you may want to get info on those cameras. Both are also about $500 more in price than the 4 cameras shown here. This photo of a white-winged dove was taken with a Nikon P950 at full zoom, 83 times magnification. Thank you for viewing my video. I hope you found it to be helpful. Please check out my other videos on wildlife photography using bridge cameras.